Alright, hello. So my name is Kendra. I'm not really sure what to call this yet, but I'm going to give it a go at podcasting. I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of Miss Mitchell's Thrifty Knits. Thrifty because I don't tend to buy anything too fancy. I have splurged a lot in the last little while, but typically my go-to stores for yarn shopping are Walmart and Michael's. I love the nice yarns, but unfortunately they're just a little out of my budget, so I kind of try and make do with what I can and splurge also when I can. So I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm not really sure how this is going. I waited until Nick, who is my other half, I waited till he was out of the house because I knew he would just totally, he would support me, but he would totally be making fun of me and laughing in the next room. So I've got the house to myself. I only have my two dogs with me, both of who are actually behaving themselves right now and sleeping. Noelle is on the floor behind me, but because I put her bed there because I thought you could see it, but I don't think you can. Anyways, I started knitting when I was in public school, and I've probably been knitting for maybe, 15 years now, but never anything fancy. Always dishcloths and like straight scarves and straight needles, which was totally fine, and I loved it because it started it all, so that's super cool. But I've just recently started trying to knit more advanced things, I suppose you could say. I've actually bought patterns on Ravelry, and the thrifty person inside me is not really appreciating that, but I'm so appreciating how beautiful everything's knitting up and how many amazing patterns there are out there. So I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I've made in the past little while, and then go from there. So I've been watching a lot of podcasts lately. Nick always makes fun of me, and he always says, how come they're not waving back? And he always waves to the camera whenever I'm watching them. So hello to everyone. It's nice to, I guess, kind of finally meet you. I feel like I know all of you quite well. And maybe you get to know me a little more if you're interested. So this is Saturday, November 5th, I believe, and I live in Baysville, which is a quaint little village in Muskoka. There are maybe 40 homes year-round, but Muskoka in the summertime in Ontario is quite the hub, so we get pretty busy, so we enjoy this time of year when it's quiet. So anyways, let's get to knitting. So I don't even know where to start, but maybe I'll show you I guess I'll start with works in progress because they're still going, and then I'll show you some of my recently finished FOs, and I feel so cool using all the knitting lingo because no one else knows what I'm talking about. But anyways, so like I said, I'm the thrifty knitter, so I have really nice project bags, which I dye and I look online all the time, but I just can't justify spending $40, $50 on a bag when the yarn comes in a plastic bag, or I have bags around, and I'd rather spend the yarn or the money on yarn. So yeah, so this yarn I splurged on, and this is a Christmas knit, and this is maybe why you should have these fancy bags because mine's all tangled up right now. And so I first saw this pattern on the Legacy Knits podcast, and I'm hoping that you can see this. This is the Because I Love You shawl or wrap. I think it's wrap. So the Because I Love You wrap. So I thought, I heard the name and I just had to have it for my mom. Sue, Chelsea's mom, knit one in blue and white, which are, navy blue is my mom's favorite color. And I'm totally a copier. I'm copying everyone's knitting. So if you see things familiar, that's why. So this, I splurged, like I said, and I bought some fancy yarn. So I'm all about Canadian dyers. That's pretty cool. Being Canadian myself, I'd like to support them. Having said that, all my fancy yarn is not Canadian, but some of it is. So this is from Lichen and Lace. So it's dyed in Sackville, New Brunswick. So I don't know if you can see that. I have no idea what's being filmed or even if I'm in the picture, but hopefully. So this is called Lichen and Lace, and I'm not even sure, it's a fingering weight. It's their single ply, so superwash merino fingering weight. So I was really excited about this because this was the first time I bought yarn and it came to me in a skein. It wasn't like already rolled in those Walmart pre-rolled things. So yeah, so I am super excited about how it's knit up. So the blue is called Calm Waters, and the gray neutral tone is called Linen, which I absolutely love. This is another knit lingo that I've learned in the last little while, is it's super tonal, which I agree with everyone. It's beautiful when it's tonal. There are little pops of browns coming out in the neutrals, and in the blue there's some really nice light sections that go in with some darker sections, so I really love how this is knitting up. When I bought this from Lichen and Lace, she sent this mini. I've never had a mini before, and I understand what the craze is all about because it's so much fun to have these perfect little balls, and I just thought it was like this minty with blues, like speckles of blues and browns and yellows, and it just matched so perfectly with the other two skeins that I had to incorporate it into this knit. So because I love there are my dogs. Girls, hey! There's a cat. Our neighbor's cat is in the backyard, so this is why they are going wild right now. The door. Newton and Noelle are two dogs. They're both mini Aussies, and I'm a little biased, but they're super cute. So anyways, I added a little bit of green kind of throughout the shawl randomly. And then I'm going to add one more stripe of the green here in replace of one of these white sections. So yeah, I'm super excited about how that's knitting up. Like I said, I'm using my fancy dancy, whatever you guys call them, project bags. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. So that's a gift from my mom, and I know she's gonna love it. And I can't wait to tell her my name. Pardon me. Okay, I had to stop the dog barking, so I think that's under control. But anyways, I was just talking to you about my Because I Love You wrap. So I'm all done with that, very happy, or all done talking about that, I should say. I'm not quite done knitting it yet, but it is knitting up pretty quickly, so I have no concerns getting it done for Christmas. Yeah, so on to the next thing. So another work in progress and another fancy project bag. This bag came from the yarn shop. So there's a really cute little yarn shop in Bracebridge, which is close to me, about 20 minutes. And it's called Muskoka Yarn Connection, and I absolutely love them, and I just go in there all the time if I have a chance at lunchtime just to meander around the shop and check things out. So this is another, I mean, for Thrifty Knits, these are some expensive yarns I've been buying lately. So this was my first, let me find the tag. This is my first Malabrigo yarn that I bought, and I splurged and bought 2 skeins because I wanted to make a nice big shawl. I'm all about the shawls right now, and I'm pretty excited about it because I really don't have any fancy ones. So this is called, it's on their Machita base. It's 100% merino superwash, and it's number 889 Musas. I don't really know how to pronounce that, M-U-S-A-S. And I don't even know if this is getting close to the camera or if it's zoomed in or what, but we'll go with it. I'll pretend like I know what I'm doing. So these, I will talk about my needles because that's what apparently everyone likes to hear. I have knit on the Addy Sock Rockets, I think, or the Addy Turbos. Addy Turbos, which this is my first thing I've used them for, and I love them. So I know what the craze is about. So this is the yarn being knit up. I guess I should show you it. And if I didn't even show you the yarn for my last one. So let's rewind a bit to the Because I Love You wrap. I don't have a yarn winder or anything, so I hand wind these babies by hand. Funny story, completely aside, but so the first time, like I said, this was the first yarn that I ever bought in skein form. So I had no clue how to wind it into a hand wound ball. So I watched some YouTube videos because that's where I get a lot of help, my knitting help from. And I had the skein, I unraveled it, had it laying on my coffee table, and I thought, okay, here we go. I'm gonna start wrapping it around my thumb. Started wrapping it around my thumb, and oh my God, did it ever make the most giant knot of yarn. No word of a lie, it took me 8 hours to unravel this yarn. It was and it's so fine being the single ply. It was like, it looked like a big pile of Mr. Noodles. And I don't know if everyone calls it Mr. Noodles, but if people know what I'm talking about, that's what this looked like, and it was terrible. But it was the first time I had spent money on like over $5 on a thing of yarn, and I was not gonna just give up on it. So I sat there and untangled it all for 8 hours. And I'm really happy I did because it is beautiful. But yeah, so I don't have a hand winder or anything. I do that all by hand. But having said that, I went to the yarn shop and had a little bit extra time on my lunch, so I decided that I would use their hand winder, whatever you call them. I don't even really know. But the lady told me that this is called a cape. And anyways, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love the colors in this yarn. There are purples and blues and teals and pinks, and it's just so beautiful. I hope that this is looking good. The sun has kind of gone away. It's kind of a cloudy day, so you might not, it's not the best lighting, but this is the brightest room in my house, so I thought it might work. So anyways, I am knitting up a Joji Locatelli pattern, which I'm super excited about. This is the right side there. So this is just called the Golden Sand Shawl, or Golden Sand or something, I think. Oh shoot, I'm really bad at this. Anyways, Golden Sand. Let's go with that. It's a very simple crescent-shaped shawl with some lace pattern at the end. So I just wanted something big that I could use most of this yarn because I spent a lot of money. I will not tell Nick how much money I spent, but I think it's beautiful. I love the way it's knitting up. I love the feel of it. It's so soft. Anyways, I just started this last night, so I feel like I've got a pretty decent start to it. Yeah, so I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to get it around my neck and wearing it because it is starting to get cold here. Actually, this weekend's pretty nice. It's supposed to be like 13 degrees this weekend, which is quite warm, but I'm freezing all the time, hence the turtleneck. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited to have that. All right, let me take a little break to kind of organize, and I'll be right back. Okay. Back again. I'm going to try carrying on from here. I did turn on the overhead light just to see if that changes anything, but we'll see. So anyways, very happy with my works in progress right now, and now I will show you some finished objects. So, first thing I want to show you, I knit this a while ago, and I feel like everyone has knit it. It is the 3-color cashmere cowl. By Joji Locatelli. So this was my first Joji pattern. Once again, I bought some bamboo yarn, but it was from Michael's, already skeined up, and I wish I had, yeah, I don't have the tags. I didn't realize that keeping tags was a thing until, so anyways, I feel like it was a Patton's bamboo yarn. So it was, I thought it was pretty nice. It feels pretty silky. I think it does have some silk in it, and it knit up pretty well for this pattern. I think it worked quite nicely. I used 1 roll of the orange and then about 1.5 of each of the other 2 colors. I kind of shortened each of the sections a little bit because I felt like the sections were just going on and on and on, and I wanted to get on to the next one. Having said that, it's beautiful. I love when it's all bunched up around my neck. So that's super cool, but yeah, I just shortened all the patterns a little bit because I yeah, I wanted to get to the next. So I'm going to try and show you up close how it looks. Hopefully you can see that. I have no idea if you can. But I was really happy with it. I hate weaving in ends. So first of all, I want to say that I finished this probably about a month ago, and I have probably worn it, I want to say a dozen times. Maybe not quite that much, but a lot. Enough that it shouldn't look like this on the inside. So yeah, not a single end woven in. But that's a lot of ends to weave in, and I just, a spot where I attached new yarn, I just really don't want to sit down and do that. I'd rather sit down and keep knitting on more things rather than finishing this thing that's, in my mind, finished. I mean, I bunch it up. It's at the back of my neck there. I just kind of tuck in the top ends and tuck in the bottom ends, and no one knows the difference. My coworker, BFF, I just tell her to let me know if there's any ends poking out, and so she'll let me know. But yeah, I love the colors, I love the way it knit up, and this was kind of this was my first pattern that I actually paid for, so that's kind of a real deal. So I was super pumped about that. So yeah, that's the 3-color cashmere cowl. So you're gonna see orange is a big theme in a lot of my knitting. My boyfriend is a huge Florida Gators fan, huge fan. If he had it his way, the entire house would be decorated in orange and blue. And we've always said that one day we will live in a place, in a house, where he will have his man cave and he can decorate it in everything orange and blue. But there's definitely an orange theme in my life in general. So for a Christmas present for him, I just recently finished, and I didn't grab them. Maybe I'll show them next time if I have another one. So I finished one pair of socks, and I thought, okay, I can do this. So I decided to cast on a pair for him in his gator theme color. Not thinking that his feet are size 13, and he's a big guy. Like, as I knit down the cuff, I thought, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Then I got to after I decreased from the gusset, and I was like, holy cow, will these socks ever end? And being a new sock knitter, I still had one more to knit. I'm super happy with how they turned out, but let me tell you, he's not getting another pair of socks anytime soon. So these are my gator socks. I don't have any sock blockers because that's money that I could be spending on yarn. So you will probably never see socks on sock blockers, but I could, like, I don't know. These things I could probably stick my thigh in and fit. But they're beautiful. I'm so happy with the way they turned out. This part of the sock, this self-striping part, is just Patton's Croy. Got it at Michael's when they were on sale. So I actually kept this little taggy thing. Not that you guys all probably don't know what the Patton's Croy label looks like. I don't know, does putting my hand behind it help? Because that's what other people do. This one's called Singing the Blues Stripes. And I'm sure you guys have all seen this sock striping yarn before anyways. And then I added in the orange cuffs, heels, and toes. Which I think is just the perfect addition to the blue striping socks. They're perfect Gators colors. The orange is yarn by Richard DeVries. I hope I'm saying that right, and people are probably yelling at me if I'm not. I just had the card. Okay, hold on, it's right here. It's called Orange It Is. So Richard DeVries. Anyways, that's him. And that's a Canadian yarn, so that's super cool. So it is a superwash yarn, but it says we recommend hand washing and laying flat to dry. My only concern is I realized after I bought this yarn that it doesn't have any nylon in it. Yeah. So from what I've heard, that might not be the best wearing yarn. He might blow a hole in them, which I'm going to be really upset if he does. But I had a hard time finding this perfect orange, and when I saw it, I didn't even care what kind of yarn it was. It was just going in these socks. So it might not be the best sock yarn, but I'm hoping these are for fancy sock wearing days anyways. He's not going to go work in them. Well, they're pretty warm, and he's a pretty hot running guy, so doesn't often have cold feet. So I feel like they'll just be for special occasions, and maybe, yeah. Anyways, I'm super happy with how they turned out, and he has a matching set of these giant socks to wear. He loves them just as much as I loved making them, so I'm super pumped about that. Okay, so let me just take a sip here, and I hope you can see my wine, it's not wine, I wish. It's tea, Earl Grey tea, but it's in my cup, and it says, shh, there's wine in here, which in a few hours might be the truth. Okay, so last finished object, I guess, another fancy project bag. I think I got a pair of Pumas in this. Obviously, it came from the Puma store. But you know what? It's got a fancy little looped bag, so I can hold it like this. I could walk around and knit with it if I wanted to. It's a perfect couple skein bag, so it works for me. Okay, so this is another one of my more expensive yarns that I bought. So this is the first time I ever went into a yarn store, and this ball of yarn just was calling my name, and I think there's some of it, I don't know if you guys can see, I've got like a little mini stash of like 10 balls of yarn. So anyways, this is what's left over from it, and it's still beautiful in my opinion. So that's just the ends of it all, and there's dog hair on everything in my house. Okay, I've got to back up so that way you can see my head. But I want to get close so you can see these things. Anyways, Manos del Uruguay. It's an Alegria yarn. So it's 75 superwash, 25% polyamide, which news to me. Anyways, it's a fingering weight yarn, and it is called Dragon, and the artisan is Maria. So the other yarn that I used for the lace edging is a Mirasol Sulca Legato. So it's pretty fancy too. I know, I've been splurging lately. We won't tell Nick. So it's a luxurious extra fine merino wool, baby alpaca, and mulberry silk blend. So, I mean, that's a lot going on, but those all sound like fancy things to me. So it's 60% wool, 20% alpaca, and 20% silk. So it is a super fine, I don't know if that's lace, fingering, less than fingering weight yarn. So I decided to make the Paper White Shawl by Alicia Plummer. I just wanted a really simple triangular shawl, and I love how it turned out. I love how this yarn knit up, the Alegria. When I first started knitting it, I honestly felt like it looked like camouflage, but I think it's just beautiful. And I was going to put a yellow in with it to draw on the yellow, but I feel like there's already so much of that in it, so I decided, I found this ball of pink, and I thought it would just, this light mauvey pink, and I thought that would just go with it perfectly. So yeah, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I don't think it's as big as I was supposed to make it, but I was afraid, I didn't have that much yarn, so I was kind of afraid that I would run out. I think I used US size 5 needles, so that might not be what she called for, but anyways, I'm super excited with how it turned out. This is my first thing that I ever blocked. So there was a bit of a learning curve with a lot of things with this. This is my first time I ever used a lace pattern or a chart. which holy cow, when I first looked at that and I showed Nick and I said, this is my instructions to knit this. How the heck am I ever gonna figure this out? So it took a long, frustrating night of a lot of Googling and a lot of searching on Ravelry and YouTubing, and I did it. So I'm pretty proud of this, because this is like my real, like, first finished object that I bought nice yarn, I bought a pattern, I read a lace chart, I blocked it, and so yeah, I'm pretty proud when I wear this around. And I think it's it's not too heavy, but it's super soft, and it's just big enough that like I can wrap it around, and I think this is how you wear these. I feel like I'm wearing a bandana, but I don't even know if that looks okay, but I think I like it. Well, I know I like it. I love it. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I've been wearing this lots. Here comes Noelle again. Yeah, so let me collect my thoughts. I just want to show you a few of my ideas going forward, and that'll be it. Okay, so yeah, so that's all my knitting that I've been working on in the past little while, and I mean, there are a few other things that I've knit in the past that I want to show you, but I'm also not that quick of a knitter, so I want to leave some things in case I want to do this again, because sorry, I've realized I was looking at some of the video just to be sure that I was actually in it, and I realized I play with my hands a lot as I talk, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Maybe I should hold on to some yarn or something, or maybe try knitting, because that's what other people do, but I don't know if I can do that. Anyways, yeah, so I might want to have some projects to show you next time I do this. It's been so much fun to talk about my knitting, because I don't have a lot of people who are avid knitters in my life, so I feel like sharing with you guys is the only chance I get to actually talk about it and actually have people who will likely understand and who can relate, so that's super cool. So a few other things that I want to show you. So I don't know, I don't think Newton ever made an appearance today. I hope she will in the future, because she is uber cute and I can hear her. Newton! Maybe she'll come visit. So, hi! Come up here. Newton, get here. Okay, so here she is. So, this is Newton, and she just woke up from a sleep, so she's kind of all sleepy and, oh thank you, and likely cozy. And she doesn't understand looking at the camera and not looking at me while I talk. But Newton is my baby, and I feel like Chelsea and I could be like long lost BFFs, Chelsea from Legacy Knits, because my dog is also named after a football quarterback. So this is, everyone meet Cam Newton. And she's not so impressed. So Newton likes to chew things. If I could show you this, yeah, she curls her lip up and she gets all sucky, because this was the pom-pom of the very first hat that I ever knit. Hey! Newton's also a little bit grumbly. Not in a bad way, there were just kids running by the door, so that's why she's grumbling. So yeah, so Newton is a bit of a chewer, and I made this lovely pom-pom for this hat that she ate. So I will show you the hat, because this is my first time making... I shouldn't have woke them up. This was my first hat that I made, and it was made out of a super bulky yarn, so I knit it really quickly. Initially it was supposed to be for Nick, but then I just kind of adopted it. Once again, yeah, nothing's woven in there, but no one sees that, so I don't care. Anyways, I think it's super cute, and it's going to totally clash with the shawl that I'm wearing that I just realized I'm still wearing. Hi, baby. Hi. Say hello. So anyways, I think it's super cute. It's so warm, and I knit this last winter, so I wore it all the time last winter. And it's just been cool enough that I've been able to wear it. So the first time I busted out to wear this season, I'm super pumped because I made it myself. I left it sitting on the couch, I think, or maybe the chair after I wore it. And Nick and I went out for dinner, came back, and it was on the floor with the pom-pom looking like this. So I'm really happy that she didn't ruin the hat or chew the hat at all. At least it was just the pom-pom. I don't have any more of the yarn though, so I don't think that I could salvage it and make it, like this would just be way too tedious in my opinion to try and re-pom-pom. Not that I even know how to do that, but I'm sure YouTube does. My big thing is just Google it, Google knows everything. So I'm now undecided as to whether or not I even put a pom-pom back on it, just leave it pom-pom-less, or if I have some leftovers of some other chunky yarns, because I used to always knit with chunky yarn. So I might just add, I have like some grays or just like neutral colors that I might just add a pom-pom to it. So yeah, so that's my destroyed old work in project, or whatever, finished object. So the last thing I have to show you guys is a few skeins of yarn that I'm not sure what to do with yet. These are two skeins that I absolutely adore. They're expensive ones, so I have to make something nice with them. And so my first one that I have is a Sweet Georgia yarn. And I still have the price tag on it, sorry. $30, so yeah, that's a lot of money for me for a skein of yarn. But it's their Tough Love sock yarn. So it's 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, and it's called Rock Water, and I just think it's the most beautiful thing. I want it to be a shawl. That's what I bought it thinking it would, and it goes from these browns to these light creams and purples and teals. It's just beautiful. It's so soft, and I just want to wear it. But I don't know what, I feel like, I don't know, maybe if anyone knows of a good one skein shawl, let me know. I don't know how you will, but I guess I could tell you that I'm on Ravelry and Instagram. I love Instagram. Nick always makes fun of me for that too, but I'm big in the Insta world. I love it. My Instagram, I also have the most ghetto phone ever. That's all broken up. But my Instagram name is kmitchell2314, 2314, so K Mitchell with 2 L's. And then I'm also on Ravelry as kmitchell2314. So if you want to find me or see any of my, I like to post pretty pictures of everything that's going on. So it's not all just knitting, but just things that make me happy. Anyways, I don't know how I got to that. But oh yeah, if you have any ideas for a one skein shawl, let me know. Because I haven't been able to find the perfect yarn to go with it yet. Mind you, I haven't been looking very hard, but eventually this will become something beautiful. I'm just not sure what yet, but I'm really excited for when that time comes. My next other one that I have is another one by Richard DeVries. So it's 100% merino yarn fingering weight. And I saw this at our local yarn store in Bracebridge, and I had to take it home because it's called Lake of Bays. So if anyone knows Muskoka, Lake of Bays is not one of the 3 main lakes, but it's another large lake in Muskoka. And Baysville is right on Lake of Bays, so I live on Lake of Bays, and this yarn is called that, so I just had to buy it. And it's this like browny gray undertones with all different sorts of speckles. It's got oranges and blues, go figure. But also, I don't know, like purples and beiges. It's just beautiful. So I'm really excited to make something out of this. I hope you can see the top of my head. Maybe I'll just kind of slouch. Okay, super awkward. So when I was trying to say goodbye, the memory card was full, so I'm going to make this really quick. Thank you for watching. If anyone did watch, hopefully we'll talk again soon. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I will talk to you sometime. Bye.